It's on? Hi, welcome back to Cooking More with Less. My name is Selena Cordova, and today we're going to be making a really simple Italian lentil soup. I say Italian lentils because these are actually Italian red lentils. Lentils come in many different forms, and yes, you will have to soak most of your beans overnight if you want them to be really tender for the next day. What I did though is I rinsed these out last night, and I just, made sure that they were dry enough to use right now, but they don't have to be dry. Another thing I wanted to mention, you actually don't have to soak lentils when they are this small. They're small enough that when you immerse them in water and boil them for about, I would say like 45 minutes, I do simmer mine for a while, they'll melt down really well. So this is again another really simple thing that a lot of people sometimes overlook and forget how easy it is to do. So I just wanted to cut my onion. I started off with one full onion. You can use a red onion or a white onion. I'm using a white onion today, and I cut about 2/4 of the onion off and just really simply slice it up. Just make it really thin so that the onion melts into the pan with the garlic. I have used leeks before. You can basically use any onion that you prefer, but I actually like white onion with my red lentils. So I'm going to actually make it into a soup. Sometimes what I do is I put a little bit of the lentils aside after it boils and cooks down for about 25-30 minutes. And I actually just, add it to my rice dishes or make it for a little bit of a side dish for, a piece of fish or something. Sometimes I even throw it on top of my fish and bake it in the oven. So there's a lot of ways that you can make lentils. And I just make my base once a week so that I have some protein and some other foods that Amor can enjoy as well as I can enjoy. I think it's really good to drink, especially if you're, you're training or working out or trying to see muscle retention in your body. Right after a workout, for me, what I'll do is I'll come home and I'll drink a nice little cup of lentil soup. I'll throw some kale on top of it. Sometimes I do toast some crostini. Is somebody at the door? You can pause it. It's okay. So we answer the door and we're right back. So what I'm doing as well, you can just come a little bit in on the camera. I'm just cutting up some garlic. I minced 4 cloves, and I'm just making it really fine. Cutting it up in the desired consistency that I would like as well. I like it to be pretty fine so that when the olive oil hits it, it just melts. And this is just a really simple lentil dish. You'll be like, what? I have my pan. Put in about 1/4 of olive oil. My onions and my garlic go in the pan. And as you can see, it's not a huge pot. I've only have about 1.5 cups, maybe even a cup of lentils there. I'd say you can start with a cup, and with a cup you can do like 2 cups of water. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the stove and just let it get warm. Because I do have an electric stove, I really watch it. For some reason the electricity just fries things up so quickly. So what I'm doing, again, just making sure, if you can come in with the camera a little bit, just want them to see that you don't put a whole lot of olive oil. You just put enough that everything, is simmering in olive oil. And I fry that up on a high flame for a couple minutes. And then I'm going to add my lentils and my water and my seasoning. So I like adding it when there's no water in because the lentils tend to absorb a lot of the flavor at the bottom of the pan. And it's a really good way to cook in your seasonings with the lentils. So I just do almost like a dry rub for them at first. Make sure that's on 5 so that the lentils don't burn. You don't feel a charred flavor on them. Same thing goes with gas. So again, I just have some onion and some garlic in there. I didn't put anything else in it. I'm going to go ahead and add my kosher sea salt. I do add a little bit of everything actually. I'm going to do a little bit of garlic, some turmeric, and some cumin. I add that 20 minutes into it boiling just so that it takes some time to cook through at first. But let's go ahead and put this in right away. I kind of know what I'm doing. but you can just put a little sprinkle, about a tablespoon of sea salt. And then I add a little bit of dry rub, just a little bit of garlic in there. Not too much, just a little sprinkle. I add my turmeric in there. Turmeric is a great antioxidant. It's also been proven to help with cancer. A lot of women that are feeling as though they may develop cancer.
Reduces
the radicals in it reduces inflammation, and it's really, really good for your blood, actually. So I, again, use that. And it adds a beautiful color to your lentils. So when you do pour this soup, it's really nice. What I do usually make with this is like an herbs crostini. Just like sometimes if I have old bread, just old rye bread or whatever bread you guys eat, whatever flavors you enjoy. It could be just a regular Arnold loaf or Italian bread, but I'll break that up and put some celery in it and basically almost break it down like a stuffing. Or I'll just toast my bread in the oven with some olive oil, some rosemary, and then I have some nice croutons at the end. As you can hear the kids playing out back probably. So I do try to use bottled water. I can be a little extreme with the water I use in my soups, but there's nothing wrong with cooking with tap water for a lot of people. I say go ahead and do it. If you don't think there's anything wrong with it, there's probably nothing wrong. You know what I mean? Mind over matter. So when you feel as though you can cook with tap water, it really isn't a problem. And I do cook with tap water, but I have some smart water. We got it on sale this week, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. But as you can see, I didn't measure anything. A lot of people are like, how do you know how much? You kind of just play it by ear. But you can think of it as for 1 cup of lentils, you do 2 cups of water. So for this, it was about 1.5 cups of lentils, so I did about 2.5 cups of water. Or I just cover my lentils. I cover my lentils with the water, and as you can see, all the seasonings are in it. I do towards the end add my green seasonings. I put a little bit of cilantro, some cilantro in it. Sometimes I put some basil and some oregano, and just let that simmer. So I'm going to bring this back up to a boil and allow it to boil, and as soon as it starts to percolate, as soon as I start to see it coming to a broil, I'm going to throw it back down on simmer and let it simmer and relax for at least 35-45 minutes. I like my lentils to be soft, and I add water as I cook them to make sure that I have them at the desired flavor and taste that I like my soup at. So again, lentil soup. It's like so simple and basic. You can throw greens on top. You can throw whatever you like on it. It's really, really flavorful. You could also add it to your rice dishes, your fish dishes, and keep it simple. So already that's almost coming to a boil. I want to make sure you don't hear all the kids, but my son is out back playing. And thank you, Asir, for taping this for us. This is Cooking More with Less. Remember the power of lentils, extremely high in protein, really good in carbohydrates, really good in fiber, very, very good for your skin. A great alternative if you don't want to have a really heavy bean, go with the smaller lentils. They boil down really quickly and you don't have to soak them overnight. Your other beans you do, and we'll run those down when we visit them. But thank you for coming, Cooking More with Less, and thank you for loving and supporting, just inspiring, inspired to cook. Have a good day. Take care. Okay, so we're about a half an hour later, and as you can see, I opened the pot and all of the water has been absorbed by the lentils. So for me, I like my lentils actually a little bit runnier than this. My soup, I like it to be the consistency of a soup. So I'm just going to add some more water to it, let it melt down some more. See, all that garlic and beautiful onion is just caramelized and has some time to just set at the bottom of the pot. And I left it covered so that the heat could actually steam everything through and keep it, you know, at a boil. So I'm going to add probably a tad more bit of water because I like mine a little bit more pureed. And some people may stop here, you know, 40 minutes later you may be done. But I'm going to let mine go for about another 10-15 minutes and then we'll be done. I just wanted you to see the consistency and how you add water to it. So many people are like, well, how do you know, and do you add as you go? Yeah, you can. You can just continue to pour some water in there and make it at your own consistency. So that's about 40 minutes in. I'm going to let it just boil down for an hour, and then we'll have some nice lentil soup. Throw some croutons. I'll add a little bit of more olive oil at the end, and we'll be done. Cooking more with less. Thank you.